So get this, podcast listeners. Good old Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Oh, our favorite.
Or as Trump
Are
calls
we back
her,
to coronavirus? Is coronavirus a big deal again, Mark? Because we took 2 weeks off, and I got to know if I have to care again.
because Governor, as Trump calls Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Governor Half Whitmer.
Half Whitmer.
She was at a what appears to be a place a restaurant, I guess. I mean, was that a restaurant? I think it was. It looked like a restaurant. She was kind of hanging out with the people. The governor was, even though she looks like not the kind of person that hangs out with regular people. She looks much more like the elite type of person.
She'd rather be up in the lakes driving her boat around with her husband.
That's right. While no one else can.
Well, yeah. The lake all to herself.
So podcast listeners, Governor Gretchen Whitmer talks to an unemployed worker because he approaches her. And he says to her, I've been unemployed for a while. I am waiting for my unemployment benefits. In other words, he still hasn't gotten his check that he needs that money to live on.
Yeah.
I still need my, this is a problem.
It's an ongoing problem in a whole lot of states.
A whole lot of states because the systems were never designed to take on a half million
people at a time.
At the same time.
Yeah.
But they should have been, but they weren't.
Yeah.
They weren't ready for it. And so she basically says to him, after he talks to her about the fact that he hasn't gotten any checks, he's waiting on his benefits, he's legitimately unemployed and has been for quite some time. She's like, well, let me buy you a hot dog. So we're going to call this session, Let Them Eat Hot Dogs. So here is the clip from Governor Whitmer.
I'm a laid off healthcare worker, okay? I haven't received none of my benefits yet, okay? Is there any possible way that you could maybe put my name into the problem?
That'll make everything better.
I just bought a Coke from
So let me buy.
First of all,
I can't help you with unemployment benefits at this particular moment in time, but can I buy you a hot dog?
I don't know how I think that violates social distancing, Mark. I don't think she should be buying anybody a hot dog.
I mean, was she even wearing a mask in that? I couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell.
I could only see the back of her head. So it's
the unawareness.
It's so Gretchen Whitmer,
The unawareness. It's like, oh yeah, you're behind on your bills and you can't get any response from unemployment. Well, here, have a piece of artificial preservative ridden pork filler.
That has like a vinyl cover over it, and you got to eat that too and somehow digest it.
Here, have a hot dog. Okay.
I think he said at the end because she wanted to buy him a Coke too, and it's like, well, unfortunately, I already bought a Coke, and it's not.
What I want is my unemployment processed, and somebody to at least call me back.
Right, Governor. I want you to actually do your job because one of the basic functions of government, other than public safety, is to be there as a safety net when things go really badly.
Government websites are horrific, Mark. I mean, every state that does this, it fails miserably. I mean, and even the Obamacare exchange a couple of years ago, I mean, it's amazing. We can all log into social media, hundreds of thousands of at a time, but we can't get a good enough, website to at least file a claim real quick.
Embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
It
the
really
government
is.
has all this money and all these tools at its disposal, and it still just can't get technology right.
Well, keep in mind that this is the same government that goes to employers and says to them, you have to pay a certain percentage of your employees' salaries every month to the government in the form of unemployment insurance so that we can basically bank all this money so that when things do go badly, we have the money to pay people unemployment. So really it's the employer who's paying this, just so you know.
Yeah.
And then the state holds onto the money and then says, well, we can't get it out there fast enough because our systems aren't working. It's like, what the heck have you been doing all this time when the economy is good? I mean, fix it.
Yeah.
Fix it. Well,
we could have never anticipated all of this happening at one time with the amount of people unemployed. Well, it's like, what do you think was going to happen? Like, what is the point of unemployment insurance? It is in times like these. It's like, Mark, we get sold these big government programs.
Always.
Social Security is going to help retirees. Mark, we're on the verge of it not being solvent. Unemployment's going to be there when there's a depression. It certainly hasn't this time.
You know what I would trust? I would trust, of course, I don't trust government, never have with our money, but I would trust if you're going to do an unemployment insurance kind of thing, then have the insurance companies So in other words, you still have the money deducted. The company pays the money to the insurance companies.
But rather than having a government apparatus do it, have a private company who actually does it do it.
Right, and because they would probably be so responsive, and you would know that the money isn't being commingled with all the other state money, so they can rip it off and then say, "Well, we just ran out. Sorry."
Yeah, well, George W. Bush tried doing that in 2000, and Nancy Pelosi told him to get a life.
Yeah, good old Nancy.
Yeah.